Issue 20. Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will. That seems to be the only inviolate principle in the universe. I'm sure you can easily recall instances of the principle at work in your own life. Even taking the utmost care is no guaranteed antidote, but nevertheless, this seems to be the most effective countermeasure available. But even then, we need to be ever vigilant, or else, much to our chagrin, we'll end up calling this chapter Murphy's Law, and nobody will notice until everybody does.
Pictures talk.
1. Murphy's Law. You never really learn to swear until you learn to drive. Question number 1. Do you sometimes swear while driving? If so, when? If not, why not? Question number 2. When you're driving and you swear at somebody, does it relieve your anger or does it just stress you out more? 2. Murphy's Law. If your condition seems to be getting better, it's probably because your doctor is getting sick. Question number 1. Explain why or how that would be the case. Question number 2. Do you believe doctors do their best to cure your cold? Why or why not? 3. Murphy's Law. You check the paper and find that you have all 6 numbers in the lotto, but then you find the newspaper misprinted 2 of the numbers. Question number 1. Do you regularly buy lottery tickets? Why or why not? Question number 2. What was your biggest prize you've ever gotten? Overall, how much did it cost you to win? 4. Murphy's Law. Don't worry about what other people are thinking about you. They're too busy worrying over what you're thinking about them. Question number 1. Do you care about what others think about you? Question number 2. Is it actually important how others think about you? Why or why not?
5. Murphy's Law. Everybody lies, but it doesn't matter since nobody listens. Question number 1. What's the biggest lie you ever heard? What's the biggest fib you've ever told? Question number 2. How can you tell if somebody's lying? 6. Murphy's Law. People who love sausage and respect the law should never watch either one being made. Question number 1. What would happen if they saw the process by which either item were made? Question number 2. Have you ever seen the kitchen of any restaurant? How did you feel? 7. Murphy's Law. A fine is a tax for doing wrong. A tax is a fine for doing well. Question number 1. Have you ever paid a fine? For what? Was it fair? Question number 2. Do you think the taxes you currently pay are reasonable? Why or why not? 8. Murphy's Law. Never get excited about a blind date just because how it sounds over the phone. Question number 1. Do you think a person who sounds lovely on the phone must also look lovely in person? Do you have any experience you can relate on this subject? Question number 2. Do you know why so many blind dates are failures? Express yourself directly.
1. Can you imagine why Murphy's Law was formulated in the first place? 2. People who believe in Murphy's Law Are they optimists or pessimists? 3. Do you think Murphy's Law accurately describes a regular situation in real life? Why or why not? 4. Can you make an aphorism of your own that is similar to Murphy's Law, such as, whenever I wash the car, it rains? 5. Talk about sayings you strongly believe in as being universally true.
Let's talk funny. Murphy's Law at work. A man was constantly disturbed by phone calls while he was in the bathtub. He decided this was all due to Murphy's Law. If he had not been in the tub at the time, no one would have called. But his wife insisted that there was no such thing as Murphy's Law. They made a bet. He stayed in the bathtub all day to test the hypothesis.
So, what happened?
You won.
How?
You know, I was in the bathtub all day long, and I got 3 calls.
You got 3 calls while you were in the tub?
No, I got them all while I was out for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Questions. 1. Who do you think really won? Why? 2. Can you think of a situation in which Murphy's Law has never operated? What does it mean?
1. Expenditures rise to meet incomes. 2. Delay is the deadliest form of denial. 3. To make an enemy, do someone a favor. 4. Everything in life is important. Important things are simple. Simple things are never easy. 5. No matter what they're talking about money.
6. If people listened to themselves more often, they would talk less. 7. Arrogance is too often the companion of excellence. 8. Nothing is impossible for the man who doesn't have to do it himself. 9. The length of marriage is inversely proportional to the amount of money spent on the wedding. 10. As the economy gets better, everything else gets worse. Synopsis. One. Just imagine how mad I'd be behind the wheel of a real car. I need more practice at cursing. 2. The odds against your surviving are more than 1,000,000,000 to 1. Great, Doc. At least I have a chance. 3.
I see the lottery ads more often than the 10 Commandments, so I know God intends me to win.
4.
That person keeps looking at me and smiling. I must be a wonderful person.
5. I'll love you forever.
He really means he'll love me as long as it takes to count to 4.
6. How was the sausage made? I assure you that they were born that way. 7. I'm fair since I apply to everyone.
And I'm fair too, since I only impose on violators.
Together, we are a lovely couple, don't you think? 8.
You sound like such a lovely person on the phone. I'm sure you're as handsome as you sound.
Yes, when I hear your voice, I know you're a beautiful person.
I hope we can meet in person someday.
Maybe that isn't such a good idea. 9.
It makes me sad to see you so happy because I know you have troubles ahead.
When Mom takes care of me, it just reminds me that someday I'll have to take care of her. No wonder I'm sad.
10. I'd like to get some burgers to eat, but I'm afraid the moment I step out of the tub, the phone will ring. 11.
You need to make more money if you want to keep up with me.
It doesn't matter how much I make. You always find something else to spend it on. 12.
I'm still trying to put off until tomorrow what I should have done yesterday.
13.
Take this, young man. You'll feel better.
Now I'm obliged to help her. I hate being in debt. 14.
Do I have to bawl like this for the rest of my life whenever I'm thirsty?
I've never expected that going to sleep would be such hard work.
For other people, walking on 2 legs is very easy, but it's difficult for me even with 3 legs.
15.
Marriage, old age retirement, new clothes, exciting vacations, your health.
16.
I know sometimes I don't make any sense, but I talk to you all day long. Why don't you ever answer?
My heart tells me to keep still. 17. Our arrogance is better than your arrogance.
Oh, yeah? Well, our excellence is superior to your excellence.
18. It's easy for you to get all A's. You just have to study hard.
How would you know? You're not at my school.
19. I invested everything I had into this wedding. Isn't it wonderful?
You mean you're broke? I want a divorce.
20. Now that I have money, I don't need you anymore. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you're still an ingrate. When times were hard, we used to get along better. That's because we couldn't afford to fight. This is the end of Express Yourself Directly 1.